there was a time where, or a few times, where he would just put his foot on top of the ball and wait, and it would be like a 15-second wait where...
That's a long time.
Oh, yeah, and I'm not pressing him, but he stood there with the ball, and you can hear the crowd, like, going nuts because they're thinking, why are we not pressing?
Really want to talk about what you learned from the Brighton players, though, because I think at the moment everyone is talking about the effect Spurs and Brighton are having on the way people are playing. So, what did you pick up with players, and what's your? Just tell me what you think about their style of play.
So I was speaking to Lewis Dunk and Danny Welbeck.
Oh yeah.
But I didn't really have too much chance to get into it really because we just stood on the pitch after the game. But they were saying obviously that in training, basically all they practice was the passing sequences, and he just drills it in. And the way he's explaining it sounded quite similar to how Marcelo had his drills that just they weren't you didn't when you did the drill they didn't seem specific to a match, but because you were doing it all the time, when it came to a match day, that pattern was ingrained, and all of a sudden we're playing free flowing possession football. So I feel like it's that kind of thing.
It feels like the kind of thing you'd get bollocked for years ago, playing out from the back like that across the goal, whatever. But the drill thing, how much they do it. It's because every time I go, oh God, they're right. They're going to lose it in front of goal, and they just somehow they just play it out, and then they're away. But the percentage they get caught is quite low at the back, isn't it?
The way they, as you said it earlier, that it's the risk reward thing. So obviously there's a high risk that you're enticing them to come onto you, and if you lose the ball, it's right in front of your own goal. But when a team's pressing like that, if you do beat that first line of pressure, you're basically onto their back four, and then
it's mad because it's just this huge open pitch. But then Villa didn't come onto them.
Yeah,
and they sort of were like, come on,
yeah,
come on. Is it going to be something that obviously now other managers have got to think about a lot? And so will there be, it's kind of like chess, isn't it? You know what I mean? You go, no, we've worked out that's what you want us to do.
Yeah, so there's a battle. So I remember when we did play them last year, we had our tactics pretty much nailed on. It was under Javi Gracia, and he had the tactics bang on. So we'd wait, instead of pressing and jumping onto them, we'd literally be waiting. So I'm 5 yards literally away from the centre back, and he's just walking up the pitch with the ball, but I'm stood there in a line of two covering their midfielders.
So you're not approaching him. You're just covering the space.
We're just waiting, and then their centre back would. There was a time or a few times where he would just put his foot on top of the ball and wait, and it would be like a 15-second wait where...
That's a long time.
Oh, yeah, and I'm not pressing him, but he stood there with the ball, and you can hear the crowd, going nuts because they're thinking, why are we not pressing?
Are you thinking, I've been told not to?
Yeah, but it did work. We ended up drawing the game, but that tactic, because sometimes when we did press, and if you were just the tiniest bit out of time, that was it. It was boom, 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 in. They were in behind you.
Do you think what managers are looking for in a defender is changed hugely then? Because, again, it always sounds like I'm slagging off the 90s and 80s, but there was a lot of defenders that were defenders. They are going to stop, they're going to throw their body in front of the ball. And maybe not great going forward, but that just can't exist anymore, right? You can't be...
No. I mean, you struggle to find... I mean, there are some players in the big teams who obviously aren't as good on the ball as maybe other players in the league, but majority of the time, everyone's half decent on the ball at the back now. They're all comfortable in possession.
Because I remember John Stones, it was he was the first oh my God. Oh my God!
He's
a centre back and he's silky. It was just it was in the press.
He's so good, honestly. He's such a good player.
Is it because the fact that he can basically command a midfield position at Man City. It's insane, right?
Yeah, he's ridiculous. He's very good.
Do you think other teams are starting to be influenced by their play? I feel like other teams, I'm like, is there a lot of teams playing out from the back more than they used? Is that fair? Or?
I'd say that's probably come from Guardiola. Like, I feel like every time Guardiola does something, a team copies it, but then he's already moving on to like his next thing that he's doing.
I can't help think with Pep Guardiola. I go, your heart's gonna pop at some point because the stress you put. Like, I always want to go, calm down.
Yeah,
have a Tuesday off.